What's up, guys? Let's let some people join. I'm trying to figure out why, because I'm doing this from my office, obviously, for the first time. So I just set up Streamlabs in my office, and I'm looking, and for some reason, let me put it over here and screen share with you. You couldn't hear me because I was on screen share, and I'm just now setting this up in my office, Streamlabs. Typically, I do it in Kara's office because we have a laptop in there and it's all set up. So just work with me for a second. I'm trying to figure out why my thumbnail isn't showing up on YouTube. This one. For some reason that's not showing up, and I also got to put on screen share and turn up the mic. Let me see, give me 1 second. Actually, what I'll do is I will add a new source here. I'll be starting the stream momentarily. How many people got in here? 70. Display capture, add source, add source. Boom, okay. So I can show you this. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out why my thumbnail is not showing up on YouTube. Instead, this is showing up, which is really going to F up the stream. I don't know why. So like I said, just give me a moment to try to work this out, see if I can figure it out. I wonder if I update it here. It is updated there. Change. Arrow, save. You guys all still in here? Yes. All right. All right, first off, how's everyone doing today? The boys are in the living room, sleeping, I think. What's up, Justina? Never failed to show up for me. Appreciate it. Just reading the comments. All right. So I get this question a lot. Do I worry about same-sex aggression? Do I worry about fights between the dogs? Because they're both intact. They're both staying intact. I'm not into spaying or neutering our dogs. It causes so many health issues, like far beyond what prostate cancer is. It causes such a devastating things hormonally to your dogs, spaying or neutering them. There's other options. I'm not opening up this can of worms in this video, but you could do a vasectomy in a male. You could do an ovary sparing spay in a female. If you absolutely want to fix your dog without destroying their hormones. I have videos up on that. I suggest checking those out. So typically the first people ask me if I'm worried about fights between the dogs because they're both male. Well, if I have two dogs, that's always going to be in my mind. You can have fights between male and female, between female and female, between male and male. It doesn't matter. You can have fights between dogs. Yes, there probably is. Yes, there's a greater chance within the same sex of them getting in a fight, but that's why you have to be a chess player, not a checker player. Everything I do with my dogs and training them, I'm always future thinking. I'm thinking about issues that could arise and what to do so I don't experience those issues, or if it is an issue, it's very minimal compared to what it could be. So pack hierarchy is key, essentially. Pack hierarchy and you being the boss. In our house, it's me, Kara, Bruce, and Justice. And that's how we run the house. That's how we've ran the dogs from day one. So we are very, 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 very strict in keeping the pack hierarchy. And it's just simple stuff. So I guess with same-sex aggression, how to avoid it. First and foremost, you got to go back to puppyhood, and you have to really establish yourself as a leader with your dog. So I'm just talking off how we did things. I'm not talking about other people's issues. I'm just talking about how we planned everything, how we're doing everything, how we continue to do everything, so we're not having that issue. So first comes, you get your dog. So we got Bruce Wayne, and you fully train that dog, like 100. So you are established as a leader, because if you're in the dog's presence, for example, they shouldn't be fighting. You're the boss. You are the ultimate boss. So whatever you says goes. If they're fighting in your presence, that's not cool, right? So first and foremost, set yourself up as the proper leader, as a strong leader. I don't suggest getting 2 dogs at the same time for a multitude of reasons. One being they're going to pick up off each other's good habits and bad habits. So now if you have 2 puppies and one has like a bad habit getting into something that the other one doesn't, well, now that other one's probably going to start getting into said object. So that's why I never recommend getting 2 dogs. And I also don't recommend getting a second dog until that first dog is fully trained, because again, that puppy's going to pick up off the adult. Like, we had 0 issues training Justice. He was so easy to train. He was easier to train than Bruce because we had Bruce so well trained. Hope that makes sense. So then comes getting the second dog. And this is where the process of avoiding same-sex aggression comes into play. First and foremost, you have to understand your dog's temperament. You have to understand how your dog's going to behave around other dogs, how accepting your dog's going to be around other dogs, all of that stuff. If your dog's already aggressive, you probably if your dog's aggressive with other dogs, you probably shouldn't get a second dog, because you're just setting yourself up for failure. You're setting your dog up for failure. Remember, just because you want it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. It has to be, getting a second dog has to be right not only for you and your husband or wife, boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever it may be, but you also have to make sure it's right for your other dog that you have here, because you can't just be like, too bad, dude, you got to live with this guy for the rest of your life and deal with him more than you personally have to deal with him, because your 2 dogs are going to be around each other more than they're around you typically. So first and foremost, understand your dog fully. Are they accepting of other dogs? Are they aggressive with other dogs? Like I said, if they're aggressive with other dogs, don't get a second dog. And then comes to personality matching. If you have a super mellow dog, I don't care which breed it is. So if it's Cane Corso, for example, you can have a super energetic Corso or a super mellow Corso, or someone in the middle of the road. Bruce is more in the middle of the road. He's pretty laid back. He's accepting of dogs. He just demands respect. So I didn't want to get a puppy that had immense amounts of energy, that was very hard-headed. I didn't want a puppy that, would just go, go, go all the time, push the limits. So you have to find a puppy that matches your current dog's temperament. Like I said, you're trying to set your dog and everyone up for success. So you're just thinking future. You don't want your dog to be annoyed all the time, stuff like that. Once we found a puppy that matched Bruce's personality, now it's, the introduction, getting Bruce to like him, because I knew how Bruce would react when we got the puppy. Bruce didn't want anything to do with Justice, and we knew exactly that's what it would be like for, I was thinking a few months, it was just a few weeks. I knew he would accept him. He just happened quicker than I expected. So it was basically, when we got Justice, just a lot of training Bruce to accept Justice. And I can do a separate video on that at some point. I've already talked about it a ton when we got Justice. It was all documented. I was doing daily vlogs. So if you guys scroll back to January 2022 on my YouTube, when we got Justice as a puppy, you'll see what I did. So Bruce accepted him and they become best friends. But then it's more so being really strict in keeping pack hierarchy. Like I described at the beginning of this live chat, it goes, in the dog's eyes, it's me, then it's Kara, then it's Bruce, and it's Justice. I get people so butthurt because I say I'm the leader of the pack in the dog's eyes. I don't know why. It's always like, it's typically, 100% has always been like females that don't understand pack hierarchy and understand dogs. They'll come after me like super nasty. I don't know why. I can't help it. That's how the dogs see it. I'm with the dogs all the time. Kara works full time. I'm home all the time. So of course I do more of the training. They are looking up to me more. That's just how it is. But it's keeping the pack hierarchy between the two dogs is what's important. To avoid same-sex aggression. And it's just basic, simple stuff. Like things that you wouldn't think matter in the human world matters in the dog world. Think about almost like when you're a little kid. A lot of times, everything's, if you have a brother, an older brother, around maybe just a couple years older, things can be super competitive. You want to sit in that front seat. You want to sit in this spot in the table. You want this, and it ends up becoming like a clash where brothers and sisters will fight because they want the same thing. Dogs' minds are kind of the same, guys. They're little kids. That's how their minds are. They're just basically little kids. They don't get as smart as an adult human. So kind of just think about it like that. So you have two dogs, and the pack hierarchy could change as Justice gets older. And that's where you have to be, as a leader, you have to be observant, know your dogs, understand what your dogs are telling you, and be ready to just change the flow of things if that's what nature is calling for. Right now, Bruce is the alpha of the two dogs. So we'll feed them at the same time, but Bruce gets handed his plate first. I'll call him over, put his plate down, and then I'll call Justice over, put his plate down. What else? Also, check out my pack hierarchy videos. I have a few up. Another simple thing. Bruce exits the door first. So if we're going anywhere, I call Bruce out first. I make Justice sit and wait. Same for coming in the house. Bruce comes in first and then Justice. Getting in the car. Bruce gets in the car before Justice. Bruce gets out of the car before Justice. Beyond that, in our living room situation, I always get people questioning because we don't let Justice on the couch. Bruce is on the couch. Is Justice ever going to be let on the couch? And I probably sounded like, probably sounded like a dick the other day because I'm like, he'll be allowed on the couch and Bruce is dead. And I wasn't being mean, I wasn't being rude, but right now, as I see it, Bruce is probably going to always stay the alpha. And that's his place. So I don't want competition to get on the couch, for example. Justice knows he's not allowed on the couch. Bruce knows he's allowed on the couch. Justice will lay below Bruce or myself on the floor on his dog bed, and Bruce can get up on the couch. So it's just being really, really strict in how you run the show. And it's really not that hard. It's almost second nature for Kara and myself. It's just because how we do things is just so strict. Even before we had Justice, everything we did with Bruce was so strict. It was just like second nature. We don't take any crap from the dogs. What we say goes. If we command them and they don't do what we said, we make sure they do it. We follow through with, let's say we tell them to sit. They don't sit. We make sure they sit. You always have to follow through with your commands. Don't let your dog be like, I'm not going to sit and walk away. You're diminishing your leadership skills in your dog's eyes, and they're going to start pushing the limits more and more and more. So just always make sure you follow through on said command and make sure they do it, or stop giving said command. An example where you may want to just stop doing it is if we have a fence in the backyard, as you guys know. If I was to call JJ or BW in the house and they didn't come, it's going to be really hard to catch them and grab them and make them come in the house, right? Because they're not in a leash. That's when you just be like, okay, I'm not going to keep repeating this and expecting a different result. Definition of insanity. Just leave it be, let it lie, as annoyed as you may be because they're not coming in. You don't want to essentially ruin the command that you taught. But yeah, following through is huge on everything. So same-sex aggression, make sure you understand the pack hierarchy between your dogs. And just because you have an adolescent dog and you have an adult dog doesn't mean that adult dog is going to be the alpha. You really have to just be able to analyze your own dogs. And then beyond that, well, when they're playing, for example, I'm just trying to figure out how to explain this in the easiest way possible. I don't have any notes or anything written down. When they play, I let them roughhouse. They can wrestle, they can play tug, they can jump up on each other. Bruce has never laid down on the ground for Justice ever, and he probably never will. Where Justice will playing, he'll play in the bottom. Bruce just will not do that. He's just too alpha of a dog. I'll let it get rough. The only times I stop it is when it gets too competitive, because I don't want a fight to break out, right? So if it's getting too competitive, that's when I'll just stop the play, tell them stop, make them sit and lay down. You may be wondering, how can I tell if it's too competitive? I can just tell by the tone in their voice. It's not even so much the actions of them playing. I can just tell in their growls, in their barks, because they're very vocal when they play. Things are starting to get competitive, I'm shutting it down. What else did we do? Another big thing for me is, I know if the dogs were to get in a fight, I'm not stupid. It could happen someday. I know if I was just yell, hey, because I've built up that, one of my corrections is a loud, snappy hey, maybe a clap with it to just stop whatever is going on. For example, if Justice was getting, I always use Justice because he's still a puppy. If he was getting to something he shouldn't, which he really doesn't anymore, I just be like, hey, and clap my hands, and that's whoa, that's a correction. I know that would stop any fight instantly between the two dogs, because like I said, when the alpha's around, they shouldn't be fighting and they're going to be listening. But what happens when they're outside playing and I don't have eyes on them? Because I can't have eyes on my dogs 24/7. I mean, I could, but that's going to greatly negatively impact my life if I have to sit at the window when they're outside for 2 hours watching them, right? It's just not really feasible. Which is why when I let them play, I let it get rough and I'll let Bruce correct Justice, because I need those two dogs to be able to figure things out on their own between the two of them without me around. That is best case scenario. If Justice is annoying Bruce and Bruce doesn't want to play and Bruce is jumping on Justice, jumping in his face, jumping in his back, trying to get him to play, if Bruce corrects him, I need Justice to be able to respond to that. So when we first got Justice, no, I'm not going to let them outside and play together without eyes on them, because I haven't trained them, or I haven't seen enough of their interaction for me to fully trust them being outside alone. Now I completely do. But it was very important for me for them to be able to figure out things on their own. So one important thing I did was food aggression with them. And I have a food aggression video. Let me pull it up here and screen share. Food aggression. So you guys know where to look for it. There it is. Let me screen share this. So this video right here, tackling food aggression with Bruce, Wayne, and the puppy.
What's up, you 244,312?
So I did not mean to click on the video. So you're gonna want to watch this video. And this was like literally the very first moment that I worked on food aggression with them. I had a raw piece of steak with a bone in it. And essentially, just watch that video and see what I did. I wanted to work on food aggression because food and toys, especially with Corsos, because Corsos can tend to be very possessive. Like Justice carries around his toy like it's his baby, and he'll lay on it, he'll sleep on it. And Bruce did the same at this age. So I really wanted them, let me get rid of the screen share, sorry. I really wanted them to be able to share without having to fight over things. So that was like the first step I took, was that video. And now things, they can have like raw meat outside. They can, like, Justice's favorite thing is a goat horn. He will chew that thing for hours, and he'll run around with it, he'll throw it. And Bruce likes it, but it's not like Justice is obsessed with it. Bruce, he likes to chew on it, like I said, but whatever. Bruce will take it from Justice. This is kind of funny. It goes to same-sex aggression and keeping pack hierarchy, right? If Bruce doesn't even want it, if he's just laying there and Justice is like chewing on the goat horn, but then Justice starts taunting him with the goat horn, takes the goat horn, starts doing this, like trying to get Bruce to play, throwing it around, and then making Bruce want it. Bruce will go for it, but Justice is way too fast for Bruce, so he can't catch him. Bruce will literally give Justice a look. Just give him a look. Justice will drop it and just roll over to his side. And then Bruce picks it up, walks away, chews on it. Justice will walk over to Bruce and just patiently, like literally just sit there and just like, you know, he doesn't make direct eye contact because that's a sign of aggression. And actually check out my other recent video. I wasn't in the room. Feeding Dog Eats Raw Bones, where Bruce literally just watches Justice. I forgot screen share was none, so let me see. I wasn't in the room here. It is, where is it? Videos. This one right here. Dog Eats Raw Bones. I wasn't in the room. I just recorded my camera. Bruce is watching me walk off right now, and started filming. Bruce already ate. He was handed his plate first. Bruce loves chicken, like absolutely loves chicken, and he doesn't get much of it because of the fact that he doesn't do well on chicken. It starts making him itchy. So this is a perfect example. Again, I'm not in the room, of the steps that Kara and I took to have no same-sex aggression. Like I said, I'm not stupid. It could happen. Anything can happen, right? But I'm setting myself and my dogs up for success. You would assume, being the alpha that wants that chicken, he would just take it. No, because of the pack hierarchy. Bruce knows he already ate. He had his food. He's going to let the puppy eat the food. But Bruce also knows if Justice doesn't eat everything and walks away, he's allowed to finish. He gets leftovers, right? I give him the leftovers. So I always give Bruce the leftovers if he's hungry and Justice doesn't eat everything. And that's how we set ourselves up to have minimal same-sex aggression. And like I said, we are very open if things change. If something just happens to change where all of a sudden Bruce is the alpha, well, then we're going to change how things happen, right? And you can't ask me now, well, would you still let Bruce on the couch? Would you not do this? You know, you can't ask those questions because I'm not in that position. And I can't answer that unless I see all of the little variables that are that basically aren't seen on camera, that are even impossible to show on camera. Just like little things you can pick up on your dog. Just like when I was talking about when their tone changes when they're playing, if it's getting too competitive, you know, time to shut it down. One thing where they'll get really competitive is when they're playing. When Kara comes home or I come home and we've been gone, Kara's usually gone all day. If I come home, it's not the same because I'm only gone a couple hours. And by the way, Justice isn't crated anymore. We just started not crating him about a week ago. Just to update you guys. When Kara comes home because she's gone all day, and she'll ignore the dogs. She just gives me attention. She won't even give them attention until they calm down. But what they do is they pick up a toy, and I think it's because they don't know how to act. Speaking of toys, come here, bro. Justice, come here. Come here. Yeah, come here. Let's go. I ain't going out there and playing. He's trying to bait me to get out there and play. He'll pick up a toy and they'll start playing, and that's when it starts to get very loud. And that's usually the time we may have to stop it because it's getting too competitive. I'll let it go on for a bit, but like I said, when it gets overly competitive, it's like time to shut it down. You know, the boss is home, and it's literally just, I'm not going to yell, but I'll yell stop, and it's just like everybody's done. It's just like, oh. A lot of times I have to warn Kara, I'm about to yell, because I'm like, it'll be very loud. So just to warn her so I don't scare her. So I'm going to go look at this chat quick, since chat's over here and my camera's here. So I haven't got to see any chats at all. And I need the rest of my coffee. I'm trying not to slurp in the mic because I got a lav mic on. Roberta, been a little while since I've able to catch you live. Glad you made it. What do I think of Outlaw Cane Corso breeder? I don't think anything of any breeders. It's all up to your own research. I will never advise someone on a breeder. Somebody's like, hey, can you help me find a good breeder? I'm like, the only breeder I'll suggest is my own, because it's the only one I have experience with. So I'm not going to, give another breeder, like, I don't know how to say it without sounding like a dick. I'm not going to promote another breeder if I've never bought a dog from them, unless I've really interacted with them quite a bit, because that just wouldn't be fair on my part to put out info to you guys and then someone get like burned from a bad breeder. I'd feel horrible. So my answer will always be the same. Do your research. I have videos up on how to choose a good breeder. I suggest checking those out. All right, where are we here? My two males, Corso and a Lab Pit, had many scraps when they were younger. Took a while to resolve their issues. They now know their place and were 5 years without incident. That's awesome, Mr. Dodo. And yeah, that's why I was 100% on things from the moment we got Justice, so we don't have any of those incidents. It's easier for them to understand the pack hierarchy if I know what the natural pack hierarchy is, and I can just help facilitate that within them. You know, people are always like, oh, you can't have the same sex dogs. It's like, oh, yes, you can. That's just a very closed-minded thought. You know, a very, very closed-minded thought. Oh, before I forget, you guys know what a lipoma is? You can still see Bruce's square patch from last July. It's taking forever for that hair to grow back. The hair grew back, but not the overcoat, just the undercoat. I hope it fully grows back. Some dogs, it never does. But he had a lipoma removed. A lipoma is just basically, it's non-cancerous. It's just like fatty deposits that just build up and get bigger. He had one in the skull, which I removed myself. It was very small. But he had a big one on his, do I have pictures of it? Let me see if I can pull it up. He had a big one on his paw, on his back paw, and we're gonna get it removed. I removed it myself. I can do a video how. Did not use any surgical tools. I did not cut my dog open to remove it. You know, if you go online, how to remove a lipoma, everything will say surgery. You have to do, the only way to do it is surgery. You can do exercise, could help reduce the size of it. Turkey tail I tried, which is turkey tail is like a supplement. Turkey tail has been studied and shown to reduce the size of lipomas and even to reduce the size of cancer cells and tumors. It didn't do anything. So yeah, I basically got rid of it myself. Let me show you pictures because it's incredible before we move on here and I keep going through comments. So basically the vet wanted to test it to see if it was cancerous. And then after that, it like got irritated. Like it was never really irritated. Bruce never licked it, anything like that until the vet did that. And it was like a week and a half later and it looked like this. It got really big, really big. I was at the gym that day. I'm like, that is not looking good. And he started chewing at it. And because he started chewing at it, it was like a little bit bloody. Almost like when you have like a big old pimple that has to pop. That's basically how I removed it. You can see all that on my thumb. That is like that lumpy stuff. That's fatty deposit, like because the lipoma is fat. And then I'm zooming in here. That's the hole it came out of, like the big old zit. Obviously, I was extremely cleanly. I sterilized my hands with alcohol. I could wash my hands. I cleaned them with alcohol. Cleaned my dog's foot with alcohol before doing it, before popping it. Used peroxide, all that stuff. But I can walk you through what I did. Because if I'm able to avoid a surgery in my dog, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. It was kind of bloody because it was big. The one in his head was super tiny. And that was like 2 years ago and it never came back. And then the aftermath, yeah, this was after. So we went from this, and then 10 minutes later, and then I got home. First thing I did, 10 minutes later, this. Didn't have to be put under, didn't have to be put to sleep, didn't have to use numbing agents. If they were going to remove it, what they would do is, because they would put him to sleep, they'd numb it up, they would shave his foot, and they'd make a big incision, pull out the lipoma, cut it, sew him up. If I'm able to avoid all of that stress on my dog, hell yeah. He's doing great. It got a little bit bigger than this. It got a little bit bigger again. I squeezed out more, not more fatty deposit, but just like it's almost like a cyst. So just that like clear liquid. And now it's like super tiny. Like when it completely heals, because I just did it again today, just squeezed out a little bit of the liquid. It's like flat again. I don't think it's going to come back. So I'm almost positive he's not going to need surgery. I got off on a tangent, but I was pretty happy about that, to not have to put him under all that stress. And I know if there's a vet watching them make, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. It's like, well, sorry, I did. And I did it before, and it worked out wonderful. Okay. Sorry about that tangent, but I just thought you guys, because I know a lot of dogs get like lumps and bumps. And I knew it was a lipoma even before they tested it. Tumors typically are attached. Lipomas were like free floating, and I could literally put my fingers under it like this and like completely just move it around. Pack mentality means teaching the first dog to follow your lead. Exactly, just like I said. That's why you want to first have your dog fully trained and establish leadership fully before you bring a second one into the house. Bogdan. My Cane Corso, she's too young to accept another toddler in the family yet, but she's really chill. She loves playing. Yep, see, it's good that you recognize she's not ready to accept another dog yet. and hopefully she does. And also another thing is, Bruce was around. Bruce went to daycare every single week for years and years and years, and that really helped him understand pack mentality. I don't bring them to daycare every week anymore. Bruce is too protective of Justice, and without the leader being there, I don't want him to go after another dog or anything like that. So I bring them on different days, and I only bring them once a month now. Jaylyn, I don't know. I don't have a baby. I don't have kids. So you're asking the wrong person. I'll read her question. Maybe one of you guys can answer. Jaylyn Castendenda. I'm 4 months pregnant and just got a 4-month-old Cane Corso for my homestead. How to prepare a puppy for a new baby? He's sweet and energetic, but throws his weight around and loves to cuddle. I don't have kids. I have zero experience with kids. I've held one child in my life. One? Yeah, I've only held one kid in my life. That's it. Like one baby. I've only held a baby for like a minute. So definitely not the person to ask that question to. Cat, some mellow puppies, though, turn out to be very extreme. The personalities change, so it would be really hard to really match up an adult dog with a puppy. No, not at all. It's very easy to tell. Of course, personalities change, but a mellow puppy, if they're always mellow, typically it's a good sign they're mellow. Just like typically if you get the runt of the litter, typically it's going to be a small dog. Of course, anything can happen and there's outliers, but odds are that mellow puppy staying mellow. Now, if you're saying you went and picked out a puppy, you observed the puppies for an hour, and said puppy was super mellow, a week later you find out, wow, this puppy was so mellow, but he's not anymore. Well, maybe he wasn't mellow at all. Maybe he was just tired. That's why when picking out a puppy, I always suggest having the breeder do it for you, letting the breeder know exactly what you want. But on that same note, you really have to trust the breeder. So again, I definitely check out how to choose a proper breeder. Because think about it, the breeders are with these puppies 7-8 weeks. So to expect to be able to properly pick out a puppy just by observing them for an hour or two, that's probably, you're setting yourself up for failure to do it that way. This is funny. The Cocker Spaniel brothers, Jarvis and Buddy. Buddy won't eat till Jarvis finishes like he already knows. Yeah, the same thing happens a lot of the time. Justice won't eat until Bruce is done eating a lot of the times. And it's like just a respect thing. He respects the pack. He respects the hierarchy of the pack. That's very cool. I never heard anybody else say that other than me. What do you do when they decide they don't want to obey? You make them obey. You go get them. I tell you to sit and you don't sit, I'm going to push your butt in the ground. I tell you to let's go and you don't. I'm trying not to say it because I said let's go and now they're right there. No, you're fine. Now they're already coming. If I say LG, let's go, and they don't, I'll grab them by the scruff and I will just pull them to where I wanted them to come to, make them sit. You have to be the leader. You can't just let things fall off. The easiest thing to do is if you call them, for example, LG, if you have a leash on them, then you just have them start coming over. Use the leash to correct them. That's why when I trained Winston, our previous dog before Bruce, and Justice, they had a leash and collar on the house for Justice not as long as Bruce and my previous dog, Winston, because he learned so quickly because of Bruce. But yeah, have a leash and collar on your puppy in the house, a long line. That way they can wander and you can still easily correct them if they get into something. Let me see. The Cocker Spaniel brothers question: do you see Bruce go help Justice if there's a rough dog? We can be at the park, and then there's a dog bullying Jarvis comes up and kind of makes the other dog know not to bully. I'm going to pull up a video here that you must watch. This video is absolutely insane. It is the coolest thing. Just give me a second. Where Bruce is protecting Justice. What's going on here? Am I still alive? I better be. YouTube. Okay, yeah, okay. My internet was not working for a second. Where is it? I had to go to my channel and look. Sorry, guys. Videos. Because it wasn't that long ago. Okay. So I'm going to put in display capture. Find this video. I can't believe it only has 22,000 views. It is the most amazing display of controlled guarding instincts. So right there, the fawn, that's Joey Justice's littermate, tugboat. There's another Corso, a female, Lulu, and these are friends of ours, and they're teaming up on Justice, and Bruce was not having it, and he displays so many amazing guarding instincts in this video. Like, you have to watch it. I'm guessing you're gonna love that video, and share it if you can too. I need to like change that thumbnail. 22,000 views, that's horrible. Justina, Bruce Wayne's the best alpha. He's just an amazing dog. He really is. Somebody else wrote he really is too. I didn't even read that yet. Let me see what else here. Any other questions in here? Moose Ioko land. I think you're 100% right in allowing Bruce to have that place over Justice. If not, there will definitely be fights for dominance, especially in the big dogs that can do real damage. Yes, and then I'm guessing she's referring to letting Bruce on the couch and not Justice. And also on that, let me just skip back to that quick. We will get on because Bruce will cuddle us on the couch. We'll make sure we get on the floor so Justice doesn't feel left out. And turn my brightness down. And we will cuddle with Justice, like love up on him as well. That way, he's not feeling left out. That way, he doesn't feel like he has to try to compete to get that attention. So you also have to be fair with your attention. Another thing, even in the morning, something as simple as I get up in the morning and both dogs come to me. Even if Justice comes to me and sits there all polite, I go pet Bruce first. I just do. And it's not me trying to be a jerk to Justice, especially because he's sitting there all polite, because he knows if he sits there polite, so I'll pet him. But just to keep that pack hierarchy, it's like, no, I'm going to go see the alpha first, and then you. So you really have to not have that soft personality. Like, oh, I feel bad because this little guy, the other dog ain't getting this or that. So you can't have that type of personality, or it's just not going to work for you. Yep, no crate for Justice anymore. I'm just reading these comments. Justina, my hype girl, telling everyone to like the video. Thank you. Jordan Curry, do you think my breeder would ever consider mentoring? I love her views on breeding, and we'd want to get into breeding a few years down the road. That's something that you'd have to ask her. I'm not sure. I don't even know if she'd have time for that. I know she co-breeds where she's co-bred with 2-3 different people. So she's mentored them. Would she do it virtually? I don't know about that. Let me see. How long did it take for Joey and Bruce to get along? I have a 10-month Labradoodle and 17-week cockapoo. They are super friendly dogs, but over playful, and it's constant. If they're over playful, like I don't understand. If they're playful, that's a good thing. Um, so it sounds like they're getting along. If they're playful, but to answer your question, it took about they always. It's not like they didn't get along. Where Bruce accepted Justice and wanted to be in the same room with them, about 3 weeks. Hi, Amy Jensen. We use the Fender Raw Feeding Guide you created. Do you feed your pups the same bone regularly or change it up frequently? Typically give them the same bones. Yeah, sorry, Jalen. I couldn't be more help. Hopefully some of the people in here helped you out a little bit more. Like I said, I just try to... I don't talk about things I don't know. Like I'm not experienced in or don't have knowledge on. It's like video cameras. My main job before I quit was a creative director. Did a lot of videography. I still do a lot of videography. So I get people saying, "What's a good starter cam?" I'm like, I have no clue. I don't have a starter cam. I don't need a starter cam. I know nothing about like low-end cameras. So the same thing in the dog world. If I don't need to do it myself, if I don't need to worry about it myself, I typically don't know much about it. Do we hate bark collars for early training? Not over a year. I don't know what a bark collar is. Are you talking about an e-collar? Yeah, make sure you really know what you're doing with an e-collar. I've seen lots of dogs get screwed up. All the time I see dogs. I just saw like a video of a dog that was severely screwed up, and I believe a lot of the issues came from the e-collar being misused. I've had clients, because I do client consults one-on-one virtually. I've seen plenty of dogs screwed up because of the misuse of e-collars. So they're great communication tools, but if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. You shouldn't be using an e-collar to get your dog to stop barking, in my opinion. How many times do I feed? 2 times a day. Ever use raw chicken breast instead of legs? Yeah. Meat's meat. Les Moss, do you know if Zoe's still a breeder? Yes, she is. She does not return calls or emails because she gets hundreds of them. So, my suggestion to get in contact with her, just keep emailing, keep calling. I know she's still breeding. Have I heard of Borbles? Yes, I have. Just reading comments still, guys. Jay Frank, Sam, go back and watch when JJ came home and met Bruce. It was not instant love. You could see his indifference. Then every day the warm-up was obvious. And here they are today, best bros. Yes. Thanks for putting that out there, Jay Frank. A lot of people think that. It's the same thing even with Bruce. A lot of people think Bruce came like that. Bruce came this obedient. Bruce came this mellow. Bruce came this loving. Bruce had his nightmare stages through adolescence. I'm still waiting for it for Justice, and like they're very minimal compared to Bruce. And I think it's because it's like Bruce really taught Justice how to act. But Bruce is only Bruce because of Kara and I. Yes, temperament and breeding goes into it, but after that, like if it wasn't for us, he would not be the dog he is today. And I used to always get so many comments. You just got lucky. You're not a good dog trainer. You got lucky with Bruce. It's like, well, okay, well look at what I have now. I did the same thing with Justice, and then you hear people say you can't have 2 intact males. It's like, well, I have 2 intact males. They love each other. But like Jay Frank said, it wasn't instant. Bruce had a lot of indifference. Bruce was stressed. Bruce was, that grayed Bruce's face quite a bit because he was so stressed because he didn't know what his life was going to entail. So it was a lot of working with Bruce to get him to accept Justice. The puppy's gonna accept everyone. It's a puppy, you know. It's gonna love everyone. So yeah, I'm glad you watched that, you know, and you saw the progress that we made. Jessica Farr, I have an intact male, and I'm wanting to add another male to the family. Do you have any tips for two intact males living together? That's what this entire this entire life has been. If you're coming in late, definitely scroll back to the beginning and check it out. Carrie Vaught, thank you. I've never had a Cane Corso. She was given to me from a friend after I'd lost my pit and lab. Hopefully everything's going for you good, Carrie. Actually, hi Jason. My boyfriend and I have a 4-month male Corso, so he's very friendly towards new people, and we're getting socialized as much as possibly can. That's awesome, and that's going to definitely change. Everyone thinks that they see their puppy loving everyone, and their puppy loving every dog. Even Justice now at 15 months old, that's going to change. He's not going to care about every single person he meets. He's not going to be wiggly like this 2 years from now every time he meets someone. That definitely changes over time. And a lot of people don't expect it to happen and don't think it can because they've never seen that displayed in their dog before. But I promise you it will change. I'm out of coffee. Bummer. Mama Guild, the hard thing with two puppies and playtime in our house is making sure playtime ends when one is done, even if the other isn't. Just got to separate them. Definitely separate them. That way there's no issues. Man, that's a big undertaking. Two puppies? No thank you. You are an adventurous one, Mama Guild, to go through that. Laura, your Corso probably won't be skittish. The funny thing is everyone doesn't realize how skittish of a breed Corsos are. They're a very skittish breed when they're young. They're very quirky. They're not your typical dog. They have a lot of different traits than your typical dog. Most likely, he will grow out of that, or she will grow out of that. Okay, he will. This is male. Nicholas Douglas, I have a Dane that just turned 1 and I want to get a female Corso. The Dane is extremely loving. We'll have to worry about same-sex aggression from the female Corso. Definitely go back to the beginning of this and watch from the start. Do you see a point where Justice will try to take the role of dominant male between him and Bruce? Like I said, I don't think so. It could happen. I don't think it will. Bruce, what I see happening is not so much the alpha switch roles where like Justice is above Bruce. I see Bruce has just turned 6 March 1st. I see maybe around he's 8 or 9. He basically just hit middle life. They live between like 10 or 12 years old. So he's middle age. I'd say when he probably starts to hit that senior year, what you'll see is he will take a step back, as in let Justice maybe at the window first barking, that type of thing, but not let Justice take over his place as the pack leader. That's how I think things will probably pan out. Could that completely be wrong? Of course. But that's kind of how I see things working out between the two, especially with Bruce's personality. Like I said, not once have I ever seen Bruce just lay on the side to play with Justice. You know, a lot of dogs play with each other. They'll take turns like chasing, and take turns chasing each other, and take turns like laying and playing on their back. Not once has Bruce ever let Justice chase him. Not once has Bruce ever laid over for Justice. And like I said, when Bruce corrects Justice, it's always like a proper... Bruce is the dog you want around other dogs that you have reactivity issues with. He's like... if my full-time job was dog training, he'd be the perfect dog to have. He's like daddy, Cesar Millan's daddy. He's that dog that you want. I've seen pit bulls run up to Bruce, snap in his face, growling when I'm walking Bruce, and Bruce won't even look their way. I've seen Bruce standing there, a dog runs up to him, super like aggressive, and Bruce won't even like bat an eye. He's just that confident. There's another good example. Let me see if I can pull up my Instagram here and show you a good video. Jason Corey 411 at Instagram if you guys want to follow me. Jason Corey 411. Let me see. Reels. Okay. Post. Okay, so I'm going to screen share something here. So this one right here. This is the off-leash dog park. I hate dog parks, but we went there anyways because they had the swimming hole and it was super hot. This woman has a retractable leash. I hate those too. Don't get me started on retractable leashes. And she let her dog come up to Bruce, jump on his back, and as you can see, Bruce does not allow that. Only dog that can jump on Bruce's back is Joey Justice. And Bruce will just sit there and be like, whatever, bro. So this is what happened, and you'll see how, you're going to see how controlled Bruce is. Dog jumps on Bruce. Bruce corrects the dog. She yanks the dog away. And Bruce turns around and like walks towards them. You know, he walks slow and cautiously, and there's a ton of other dogs around. But you can just see Bruce's demeanor and like what I'm talking about. Like he's that dog around reactive dogs that you want. Dog jumps on Bruce, done. His hair is barely even standing up, and he doesn't. And he's so confident. He's just like walking through. He's like whatever. I think there's just so much to Bruce that's amazing, and like this is just a perfect example. Like get off me, no, and you know he's slow, but he walks slow, cautiously. But he's not walking the dog aggressive. He's not trying to get one back in the dog. He's not trying to fight with the dog. He just put the dog in his place. Like no, you can't do that. And I have tons of videos with him doing that with other dogs. Is there another one here? Let me see. Look at Bruce Wayne's birthday. Yay, birthday love. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. But he's that dog that you want around other dogs. Where are we here? Let me just look at the comments again. Thank you, Art, for saying that you admire the channel. Laura, both of mine are intact, never any aggression. My Corso does what I call a butt twist when he's happy to see people. I think it's just his personality now. Oh my God, the butt wiggles. Not only the butt twist, they play with their ass. They will hit each other with their butt. They will block each other with their butt. Both of them, it's like nonstop. Like that's like a weapon for them is their butt. It's funny. Love from India. Love back to India. Thanks for watching. Mr. Dodo, the one thing I noticed with my boy Loki is he's very alert when males are around, but falls to pieces with women. A woman could walk into my house and he wouldn't bat an eye. Men, not so much. Yeah, I've seen that with a lot of dogs. Some dogs have more trust in women. Some dogs have more trust in men. Some dogs don't like men. Some dogs don't like women. You know, a lot of that could be early socialization. Could be just their personality, you know. And that's another thing too, is about getting the proper puppy. You can't expect, just like everyone isn't going to like me, everyone that watches the channel isn't going to like me, I'm not going to like everyone that watches the channel. It's just human personality. Sometimes people don't get along. I respect everyone, obviously. You can't expect every dog to get along with every dog. So just because you could think your dog gets along with all these dogs so great, well, maybe it meets a dog it doesn't get along with. So that's another very important thing when picking out a puppy, trying to match their personalities and their temperaments and their energy levels. That way you have the best chance of them getting along. Well, Miguel agreed. Separation, I was talking about separating your puppies when the play doesn't stop. Separation is a huge part of my schedule. They're good boys. I've had more than a few working breeds, but this is my first with 2 at once. We're getting professional training too. Yeah, puppies oftentimes don't know when to stop. They just have energy, so even if they're exhausted, they'll keep going. So now you get 2 of them, and then they want to keep competing or playing. It makes it much harder to stop. It makes it much harder for them to realize when they need to stop. So a lot of times with puppies, you have to stop it yourself. Just found your channel. Love your babies. Thank you. If you're not able to get a Corso, what would be the breed you would get? I don't know. I like Akitas a lot. You had one before, but I don't know. There's something about Mastiffs. I don't know. Corso's forever because I could get a Corso. So I'm not sure on that one. Our Mastiff gets between us and our other 2 dogs. Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't know if you're going to go here, Amy Jensen, but this is another big thing with pack hierarchy. And I'm going to read your question, and I'm going to talk about what I just thought of that I forgot. I should have made notes for this, but I didn't. Our Mastiff gets between us and our other 2 dogs when they approach us. We allow it thinking it's okay because he isn't showing aggression. I'm assuming he's guarding us. Any thoughts? A lot of times people think their dog's guarding them, and it's not. A lot of times it's the dog has mommy-daddy issues. I want my mommy-daddy, so stay away from me. It's not guarding you at all. It probably wants the attention from you. One word of advice is if your dog is meeting another dog or if you're meeting another person, I do things different because I know my dogs. I know Bruce. But if I'm advising someone, somebody's meeting your dog, don't have your hands on your dog. Don't be petting your dog, next to you. If your dog's meeting another dog, don't be petting your dog because you just don't want this weird energy. And sometimes when the owner's petting their dog because it's got mommy or daddy issues and it just wants them, weird energies happen and just weird things happen. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's just best not to. But going back to what I said for same-sex aggression and keeping the pack hierarchy, both dogs do it, and I do not allow it at all. I'll be sitting there petting Bruce, so I'll be squatting down, sitting on my knees, petting Bruce. Justice will butt in and try to get between us. I will literally just take my elbow and just elbow him in the chest and push him away hard where it's not hurting him, but it's whoa. Okay, I didn't know I shouldn't be doing that. Because I'm paying attention to Bruce. You don't butt your little butt in here and try to get between us because then there's going to start that competition. So me as a leader, I'm letting him know firmly, no, you can't do that. Bruce will do the same thing. Bruce will try to do it. If I'm petting Justice, Bruce is super smart, and I'll go there in a second. So I would shove Bruce out of the way. I'm like, no, I'm petting Justice right now. He gets his time, you get your time. So now what Bruce does is, because Justice is where Bruce was at the same age, where play over everything. Play. So Bruce knows if I'm petting Justice and Bruce wants to get pet, what he does is he'll pick up Justice's toy, just stand next to us and show Justice and wiggle backwards, and now Justice scoots off. They'll go to the carpet where they're allowed to play. Bruce will drop the toy and then come up to me and get pet. It's like I'm like, Justice, you just got by your big bro. He just completely outsmarted you, and it happens all the time. But that's another thing. I don't let the other dog butt in if I'm giving said dog one-on-one attention. Because, again, I don't want that competition. Me either, Justina, and that's actually... So Justina says, don't want to think of Bruce Wayne being senior. I wish he could be with us forever. And that's like a huge, like, this is like a very personal thing. A huge issue with my mentals. I think about that all the time. Like, I literally think about, like, man, what happens when Bruce dies? Like, I'm gonna be devastated, blah blah blah. And it like takes away from the moment of actually having him, and it keeps like I already get teary eyed. It keeps me up at night. I get like so stressed about it. So I typically don't ever talk about it, but it's always in my mind, and it definitely takes away from like having him now. And I don't want to like regret like not enjoying him to his fullest. Even his senior years, I want to enjoy. It's like when he's an old man and can barely walk. It's like I want to be able to enjoy that, and not just be counting down the days till he dies. So yeah, that's something I super need to work on, and obviously, you know, bums me out. My puppy's favorite play position is on their backs, flailing legs everywhere. It's hilarious. I'm not sure how it's playing, but they enjoy it. Do you think of the huge increase of dog attacks we're seeing in the news lately? I think nothing of it. Comes down to poor leadership. What's the right price for a Corso? 2,500 to 10 grand. Somewhere in there. Somebody's selling you a Corso for $1,000. I'd really second guess that. Will I do a video staging a break-in with Justice? No, not for a while. He's too young. You know, he's still way too young. I don't want to cause any negative imprint in his mind at this age. Mr. Dodo, puppies are a pain in the ass, but they're so damn cute. I'd have 100 Corso puppies. Oh my god, I hate puppies. That's probably why I don't have babies. I hate puppy stage. Puppies are cute. Puppies are cuddly, but I hate dealing with puppyhood. Oh my god, it's the worst. I love my adult dogs. And Justice isn't an adult yet. But he's past puppies. He's way past puppyhood. But when we had Bruce, kept telling her, I'm like, I can't wait till he's an adult. I can't wait till he's an adult. I can't wait till he's an adult. And she's like, I want to be a puppy forever. And then he's an adult, and she's like, I get what you mean now. I'm like, yeah, puppyhood's rough. I'm just not into puppyhood. Which I think that's why it makes it so easy for me to train puppies. Because I don't get that emotional, like, oh my god, you're so cute. You can have whatever you want. Like, I'm just very stern. Like, you can't do something, you can't do it. And obviously with puppies, there's way more leeway in training. Like if you tell your puppy to sit versus your adult dog to sit, you can't expect your puppy to sit. You can't, even if they learned it, they're going to forget it the next day. So there's way more leeway with training a puppy. No, I would not recommend a dog park for socialization. You don't know what you're getting for other dogs. Temperaments, you don't know how well these dogs were trained. I'm not a fan of dog parks, just not. For socialization, go to doggy daycare. Go to a good doggy daycare that understands dog behavior too. Not just like any random doggy daycare. You want them to understand dog behavior. And believe it or not, a lot of them do not. Mama Gil does the same thing. Good to know. Yeah. Good to know. Yeah, I think about 2 blues, only 3. Yep. I think about it with Justice. Freaking hate it. So it's definitely, you know, the Smokey's talking about thinking about his dog passing. And then you start worrying about like every little like cough or limp. It's like, oh my god, my dog just limped. Is he okay? Is he going to die? And you start freaking out. I need to work on that, like mentally. Because like I said, it takes away from the enjoyment. And it takes away from what your dog's giving you. It's like, you know, it's like I feel almost disrespectful thinking about the end of my dog's life because he's giving me such love right now. And I don't want to take away from any of what he's giving me, if that makes sense in a cheesy way. Oh, my back is killing. I hurt my back. hurt my back, so the dogs aren't getting much from me this past week. And Kara was gone for 5 days last week. After day 3, the dogs were like, "Where's Mom?" So this is going to be interesting because Monday she leaves for a full 2 weeks. Neither one of us have ever been away from the dogs for that long. So a full 2 weeks, I wonder how they're going to act. I mean, they got me, obviously, but they're happiest when we're all home. They're happiest when we're all playing together, like all 4 of us. And before Justice, Bruce was happiest when it was all 3 of us. Like, they're very pack strong dogs. They are happiest when everyone in the pack is present. I had somebody ask me about this the other day. They're like, "What's that t-shirt mean? What's my last name?" I'm like, "Oh, it's about my dog. It's my logo for my YouTube channel." Link in the description for all my Corso merch, guys. You know, definitely appreciate when you support the channel, support the boys. Let me see. Andrew, my Conde Corso 12 weeks and overly confident with dogs. Don't think he knows how to play nicely with other dogs. I take him to doggy daycare 3 times a week for socialization. Take him everywhere. It'll come to the point where a dog will put him in his place and he will learn. You just hope that dog that puts him in his place is a Bruce versus a dog that's actually going to hurt him. When you're in the presence, you can correct that behavior. With me, I let it happen because, like I said at the start of this, I needed them to be able to figure things out on their own. If it's like a doggy daycare or like somebody else's place, I would be correcting that behavior, not letting it happen. So to help facilitate the dog's learning on what proper behavior is. Yeah, look at Justina making me cry. Jerk. Tina, thank you for being such a good example of responsible dog ownership. I love how blatantly honest you are. Well, thank you for not hating my straightforwardness. Like, some people are just so soft, and like I'm just a very straightforward person. I always have been, not just with dog training. That's probably why I'm so good at dog training, but with everything. Ask my wife. Like, I don't sugarcoat things. She's like, "Do you like this outfit?" I'm like, "No." Or, "Do you like this outfit?" "Yes, I love it." Like, she knows she's going to get like a legit, straight, honest answer from me. Which some people get butthurt, some people like, you know, to each their own, right? Ice in Flames Rush. Hey Jason, I'd just like to drop by and let you know how much I appreciate your content. I've learned so much that has made me a better leader for my Jack Russell. That's awesome to hear. Joe Flight, to bounce off what you just said about your doggy daycare, what are some things you look for when picking a daycare, and what are some questions you should ask doggy daycare? Well, my doggy daycare happened by accident. I can go into that another time. Ask if you're fixing your dog, having them spay or neutered, which I definitely suggest checking out my videos on that topic, and then you can decide from there what the best route for you would be. If you decide not to, ask if they accept intact dogs. You're going to want to go make sure the place is like, you're just going to basically want to go and just make sure it's something where you feel comfortable with your dog being there. It's a lot of just like, do you feel comfortable being there? Do you feel comfortable with the people watching your dogs? Are they watching the dogs all the time? Is there cameras on the dogs where you may want to? It's a lot of stuff that's personal to you. Do you want to be able to look in on your dogs? Well, then they should have cameras set up everywhere. If you don't, then it doesn't matter. Then that's fine if they don't. Is there somebody always watching the dogs? Which there should be, because you never know what's going to happen. If they accept intact males, intact males, if they, like I said, that's a tough one. It's a lot of it comes down to you going there. Like, basically go there. How clean is it? Does it look like it's upkept well? My doggy daycare is a little different. It's at someone's house. they raise livestock. There's like a lot of open fenced area for them to play outside. So it's not like a a storefront facility, almost like some doggy daycares, I guess would be the word. It's different. But yeah, if I was to go to a different doggy daycare, I'd be like, and it was like one of those type of facilities that's like a building just for doggy daycare, not someone's house. I'd be making sure it's all clean. I'd be making sure, I don't have a sense of smell, but I'd be making sure it didn't smell like shit. Have my wife go or like pee or anything like that. I would make sure that the thing is, you can tell anybody, it's very easy to tell people what they want to hear. So you have to be able to read through the BS that said person's telling you. If they accept intact dogs, what their process is with the dogs, like, are all the dogs together, are just big dogs together, are just small dogs together, is there somebody always washing the dogs, is there like, try to find their water source, make sure the water doesn't look all nasty, that could be another sign that they're really not keeping things too clean, and just kind of like ask them about, try to get questions out of them without asking them questions, if that makes sense. Try to understand their knowledge on dog behaviors, things like that. Just by asking like random questions. Don't straight up be like, hey, how well are you at dog behaviorism? Like, oh, I know, because then you're setting them up to answer what you want to hear. So that would be my way about going about it. I'll give you one tip for separation anxiety. Trickzilla. There's like that would have to be a whole separate video in itself. Like that actually help you. That'd have to be like a console, a virtual console. Anybody interested can feel free to email me. My email's in the description box. If you're curious, I charge $250 an hour, either via telephone, because some people don't like to do virtually, or virtually. Because it's more than an hour of my time. It's typically because I have to fill out an about form. It's usually like 3 to 4 hours of my time. It's just not like, hey, I fully understand the situation and I only help people I know I can help or feel I can help. Because I have you fill an about form first. If I don't feel like fit to fix said situation, I'm a bit like, sorry, dude, can't help you. But, Jason, so go to my channel. Dog anxiety, is it called? I don't remember what it's called. Here you go. I'm going to do screen share for you. Trickzilla. Go to my channel, type in TV for dogs, or 10-hour separation anxiety relief. I took 1 hour of footage, and I looped it 10 times. Okay, so it's the same hour looped. And can you hear this? Let me turn up my speakers and see if you can hear it. There's no talking. You may hear me say like a word, but it's all like, I made sure it's like all super mellow. Just the dogs playing, because dogs like watching other dogs on TV. So I just tried to make it as calm as possible. Just like playing with the dog, just having fun, walking the dogs. And what you do is leave your dog. Sorry, I keep burping. Put your dog in a room with a TV, a computer, a laptop in front of the crate. Put it on the TV. Just hit play and just let it play while you go. Because like I said, a lot of dogs like watching other dogs on TV. It's this like crazy thing. So that's why I purposely put this together for you guys to help your dogs with separation anxiety. That's just like one thing that can help. It's not a fix. It's more like a Band-Aid to help them deal with things while you're gone. But yeah, so hopefully that little tip helps you a little bit. I'd like to help you more, but like that's definitely like a case-by-case situation. There's a lot that goes into that. Off topic, are you upgrading to the Galaxy S23 Ultra? You mean like this? Yeah. Anytime a new phone comes out, like I pre-order it every year just because you get such a good trade-in value. And my wife and I, even though she has a full-time job, she's also like an influencer. So like a huge part of our stuff revolves around having a good phone. So we just upgrade every year because you get like $600 trade-in. It's just worth it to us. Look at these comments there. What's it mean when my dog puts his head into you and holds it low? My dog does this often and usually massages his neck and shoulders, which is reinforcing other ideas. Me and Kara call it the Eeyore. Let me see here. We call it Bruce is Eeyoring us, or Justice is Eeyoring us, right? Looks like this, right here. Puts his head into you. What it means is they, and we do the exact same. It's like, okay, massage the neck, massage the ears, massage the shoulders. They just want to be loved. That's what it means. You know, they're just coming up to their leader going, love me, putting their head down, being vulnerable, all that stuff. Nothing bad about it. A good breeder pays for health. Jay Frank, a good breeder pays for health testing, x-rays on the parents and pups, offers a lifetime advice, has vet bills through possible problem pregnancies, and spends hours observing the pups to pick the best one. Yes, you couldn't have hit the nail on the head more. People think that breeding's like charge $5,000 for a dog. You must be making all this money. That's not the case. Like, a good breeder isn't usually, like, obviously they're making money, but the time and effort, it's not a profit. It's not something you're making tons of money on, unless you're someone like, what's his name, X-Man. I think I never talked to him. I think he sells his dogs for like $10,000. And if you look, he's just got puppies upon puppies upon puppies. So what's that say to me? Puppy mill. So unless you're like him with a puppy mill, you're probably not making bank. And like Jay Frank said, your breeder should always be there for you for the life of your dog, not just when you have a puppy. Justina, I'm glad you asked, because Justina asked how the boy's doing with the kitty at the gym. I have a video going up on Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time, training them around the cat. So make sure you tune into that and you can see. You're welcome, Trigzilla. Would I do protection or dog sport with either of your dogs? No, I don't have time for that. My life's far too busy. Protection's far too expensive. It'd be cool. I mean, it would definitely be cool to do. If somebody would come here and do it with me. I can't really be tied to a schedule because of my disease. So sometimes it's like I, shouldn't be really leaving the house because I'm so like, I might have a flare up. But I looked into dog protection. It's like 20 grand. Not kidding. Around the area. So it's like, yeah, no, that ain't happening. How is your relationship with YouTube at the moment? Past month has sucked. Everything's like dropped in half the past month. I gotta like go look into what's going on with the algorithm. I also didn't like, I noticed when I stopped uploading daily shorts, like everything got cut in half. I was super busy like doing stuff for Kara's channel. Let me show you something really quick. YouTube. So my wife's got a fitness channel. She's a dietitian. She's an athlete for Buff Bunny. So the last week was 12-hour days, 15-hour days editing this video. Hour and 16 minutes. You can see like how high quality it is, between doing all the graphics. all the graphics, like we have A-roll, B-roll, C-roll, D-roll, making the graphics like this. Like these are like super high-end videos. We put a lot into them. You can see we even give away $1,000. So we shoot all this stuff in like a day. All the A-roll, B-roll, C-roll in one day, and then the D-roll the next day. Then we do photo shoots, and then I have to make all these graphics, all that stuff. It takes so much time. So I'm literally basically editing. I was editing for, let me see. We shot this a couple weeks ago. So we were filming Friday and Saturday for I think like 10 hours one day, 5 the next, 5 or 6 the next. In between editing, I was stuck to my computer, which is why I hurt my back, because I was sitting for like 12, 14 hours a day. And then all the way Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I had like 12 to 14 hour days sitting here editing. So I stopped uploading shorts and didn't have any uploads. I just finally let it go. I'm like, whatever, I'm not going to stress it. And then everything just cut in half. That's how mean YouTube is. That's why it's like, I'm always like, come on guys, please comment, like, subscribe, share. Because if that doesn't happen, like you guys control the channel. Like it's up to you guys to share my stuff for it to grow. It's like I can put out like some of the best videos in the world, like that Natural Guardian Instinct one, and only 22,000 people watched it. And it's like some of the most amazing dog behavior you will ever see, like caught on camera. I'm not just like being a hype man here. It is absolutely amazing. But because a lot of people didn't watch it, a lot of people didn't comment or share, only 22,000 people saw it. And it's a video that literally is worthy of like 1 million views. Like it's not just some stupid viral video. It's like so much amazing info in it, and unfortunately it didn't get a lot of views. Let me see, where are we here? Shushank, what I miss here? I can volunteer. Volunteer for what, dude? Fill me in. I think I missed something. You said I can volunteer. And thank you for being a member. Super appreciate it. And I love that logo you got next to you, the Corso logo with Bruce on it. Yeah, Crohn's is a nasty one too. I got Lyme, and Crohn's is no fun either. And actually, Bruce is the only reason why I'm able to treat my Lyme disease, because Lyme disease isn't covered by insurance. So, let me see. I've had it since I was a kid, the doctor thinks, since I was around 8. But it wasn't diagnosed until 2020. And I probably spent, God, year 1, medical bills were over $20,000 out of pocket. So, the only reason I was able to afford that is because that year the channel did well because of Bruce. So I owe Bruce my life. That's funny. Every dog you've had Eeyores. Andrew, it definitely is worth it financially. Think about it. We wouldn't be giving away $1,000. Sometimes we give away. That's just part of what we give away for like her stuff with Buff Bunny. We do. She does like we'll do a live launch party, because the way that this, I know it's completely off topic, but Andrew's interested in YouTube. So she's an affiliate with Buff Bunny. She's an athlete, so she's like has a signed deal with them. Obviously, people use code Kara. She gets a commission. The way the brand works is they do launches every like 6 to 12 weeks, and the launches like sell out. So going into the launch, we do a live launch party, so she can answer. So like basically this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the launch happens. 11:30 a.m. she's live on YouTube answering everyone's last minute questions about the launch, helping them with sizing, helping them with like all their last minute questions. And then every 15 minutes, she does a $50 gift card giveaway. Every 15 minutes from 11:30 to like 1:55. We do it earlier than too, because we want that person to have the gift card for the launch, to drive traffic to the live launch party, to hopefully in turn use code Kara to get 10% of the sale. Yes, it's financially worth it. Oh, I'm glad you followed Kara for years, Amy. That's awesome. Any information for me on resource guarding? Yeah, check out my resource guarding video I showed earlier in the stream. Food aggression. Google, go to my YouTube, Jason Corey, type in food aggression, and watch that video. Thank you, Tina. They take a lot of work. I always end up with a flare up. 100% end up with a flare up every Buff Bunny launch, video launch, because it's just so much work to keep up on top of. I just essentially run myself into the ground. But I've thought about sourcing out the edit, but that's where it wouldn't be worth it financially to get someone that can edit as good as I can, because I've been editing since I was 16. I'm 44. I'm 45 in May. I did editing work as a professional, so it's like really hard to find someone with my skill level between graphics, animation, video production, all that stuff, to have it be affordable where it's worth it to us. And then on top of it, those videos I have between 300 and 400 gigabytes of footage. So there's no way I can just upload that to the cloud and be like, here, download this footage and edit it for me. Just not feasible. Unfortunately, I'm stuck. Not unfortunately, I'm blessed to be able to do it. I'm super happy to be able to do it. But I would love a team of people here in person where I can kind of like be the producer and director, like oversee everything, if that makes sense, to take a lot of the work off me. Oh, you do protection work? That's amazing. I did not know that. If you're in Syracuse, I would totally take you up on that, bro. Yeah, Lyme disease is typically tick-borne. And as a kid, I lived in the woods, essentially. In the woods every day, all day playing. That's why there's no way to really know when I got it, but I started to have all these weird medical issues when I was 8. Even lost my sense of smell. So when I have a Lyme literate doctor who's got Lyme herself. She still specializes in cancer, but she moved away from like regular medicine, moved to integrative medicine when she got Lyme to treat herself and learn more. And deconstructing my life from the time I was born until, I found her. She feels, probably because of all the symptoms I had around when I was 8 years old, all the medical issues I started to have, losing my sense of smell, and just everything in general. Is this still pointed up? Let me point this up for you guys, sorry. It's all over. She thinks I got it when I was 8. So I had it for like 34 years before being diagnosed. And it's one of those things where if you get a tick bite and you get the bullseye rash, like, oh shit, I got Lyme disease, and you go get antibiotics right away, there's a good chance that you're just fixed, you're good. The issue is when it's not treated and it stays in your system, and then it spreads, and then it grows, and it gets in all your organs, and it gets in your brain, and it causes all these issues. Then it's like so hard to treat, where now it's like not curable, but it's more just trying to control the symptoms and keep flare-ups to a minimum, if that makes sense. And actually, that's why I quit my career as I was the graphic design creative director of some sports nutrition companies, and that's why I quit. It's just like, it was just too much between working a full-time job 40, 50 hours a week. The YouTube, my YouTube channel, is right when I started to really try things with it, was 2020. So that was growing. And then Kara's YouTube, I do everything for that. It's all me. Kara's got like 3,000 videos. Not one time has she ever hit the upload button. Not once has she ever edited a video. It's like, and for years, nobody realized it was always me. It was just getting too much because my healthcare itself takes so long. I have to do so much stuff just for self-care. It was like, it's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours a week. So I'm just had to give up the job just so I could better take care of myself to keep going. Oh, that's awesome that you use Kara's code, Andrew. Super, super appreciate that. I also appreciate you telling me you thought I was in my low to mid 30s. Yeah, I was born in 78, May 9th, 1978. I get that a lot. I do get that a lot. I think I looked younger when I had longer hair, but my treatment fried my hair, completely fried it, like just destroyed it. It was falling out in clumps because my initial treatment was 3 different antibiotics at once for like October, November, December. So I was on 3 very strong antibiotics all at the same time, which destroys your organs. Plus 2 other medications to counteract the negatives of the antibiotics, plus a ton of herbal stuff. And then they switched me to IV antibiotics, where 4 days a week I had to go to the doctor's office, get IV put in my arm where they're pumping me full of antibiotics. Ended up with pancreatitis, but it fried my hair. So to everyone that's like, well, grow your hair back, grow your hair back. It's like, yeah, I'd love to grow my hair back, people. I shaved it because it was falling out. So it's like always like annoying hearing people say that. Like, where'd you cut your hair? It's like, well, but anyways, I'm trying to do everything naturally to grow my hair back. So I wanted to, took a picture of my hair February 17th. And I cut my hair every Friday. I buzz it every Friday. And then I noticed my hair's getting darker. Again, this is completely off topic. Everybody doesn't care. Sorry about that. My hair was getting thicker again because it thinned, like the entire thing thinned. Also, I did recede, but I'm also 45. But that's not what was happening. It was falling out in clumps from the Lyme. I'm like, oh, I'm just like making up in my head, being wishful my hair is getting thicker. Then Kara the other day goes, your hair looks thicker. I'm like, okay, I'm not just crazy. So I took a picture of it yesterday, and look at the difference. That is a substantial difference. So yes, maybe I will be able to look at that. That's 6 days apart. So I cut my hair 6 days prior. I cut my hair 6 days prior. So yeah, I'm hoping, because I was just on the antibiotics again. So I've been eating like a ton of gut healthy foods, like 3 servings of kefir a day. I always ate raw onion and garlic because it's good for your gut. I quadrupled the amount I've been eating. I literally doubled the amount of probiotics I'm taking. That's all I changed, and that happened within like a week. So maybe someday you'll see long hair Jason back again. Everybody watching, don't fucking ask me where my hair is again because it annoys me. Camping's not my thing because of my, I'm not sure how to say your name, dude, so I apologize. Trushank, have you ever thought about doing podcasts or initially bringing boys camping? I have. I thought it'd be amazing to like rent an RV and go, but I'm so sensitive to things with Lyme, like very sensitive. I also have porphyria, so I have to be super careful in the sun. If you guys go back to 2020 when the channels, like when I first started to like really pump out videos and the channels had that initial growth, you'll see me just covered in like wounds, like open sores, like Lyme and porphyria caused me to like have sun issues, so I gotta be very careful. I'm a sensitive Sally, basically, is what I'm telling you. Like if I was on that show Naked and Afraid because I love it, I'd be tapping within 30 minutes. I'm like, I tap, I'm out. My body can't handle like extremes. My body can't even handle like little changes. It just causes flare-ups. It sucks. It basically makes me feel like I'm in prison half the time, if I'm being honest. You're from Toronto. I was born in Canada. I live in New York State, Syracuse, New York. I was born in Cornwall, Ontario. I never lived in Canada, but I grew up on the border of Canada, like literally 20 minutes. So I'd be in Canada, like every weekend, me and my best friend Tim would go over to Canada, go to Ottawa, Montreal, go skateboarding. Cornwall, Ontario is where I was born. Look it up. Right now I'm about 3 hours from you, 3-4 hours from you. I'm glad you learned a lot about the channel. I appreciate you being a member and supporting the channel. I know I don't put up a ton of member stuff. I've been bad about that lately. Every now and then I do. I got to get back on that. You're true, Ray. That it is a career. I often forget. how many people I help. Then I get these messages from like you and other people, like, oh, you helped me so much. And even like a lot of like non-dog related stuff, people reach out to me because I have a lot of good life advice. I've been through a lot of crap in my life. So I'm good at giving life advice. But, the channel helps a lot of people out. And like it blows my mind when I hear that. It really does. Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? How the meds, Andrew, just destroy everything. I hope you can like, get some relief with what you got going on. Mama Guild, you don't want to put your dog in protection training unless you're going to use them for protection. It's not just like I want some mental stimulation. You're changing a lot in your dog. So you may want to rethink that. There's plenty of other ways to do mental stimulation. I don't know how else to state it. It's just, if that's not what you want your dog to be, and you don't want to change how you live with your dog, the type of protection training that you're thinking of, don't do. Go for more of the dog sports. Tina says, thank you for sharing your journey with Lyme disease. People really don't realize the challenges you face. And yes, we care. Thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Yeah, it's super hard. It's like, I've always been like super hard person. Like, I don't know why. Like, more so on myself, like not giving myself excuses, like, don't be a pussy. Just push through. Just push through. Just push through. Don't be like, I think that's why I've always like never been satisfied. Always like I think what I do is good, right? But it's never like good enough, which is, I think it's a good mindset, because it's like, okay, how can I improve this? How can I improve that? But on the same note, sometimes it's like, I got to take a step back, and that's been the tough thing for me, taking a step back and being like, okay, I'm not just making excuses. I legit can like barely function right now. I need to take a step back. And funny enough, let's see. How many people? We still got 69 people in here. I don't really like talking about it, but like the natural stuff has seemed to help the most. Like cannabis and psilocybin has like literally helped the most. And psilocybin mushrooms, I haven't used them in like a long time, other than like microdose, which is illegal to use, so don't go use them. There's a ton of research, and actually, Johns Hopkins University is doing a study right now with Lyme disease and psychedelic mushrooms, because of the relief it brings people. And not just from like a mental state, but like an inflammation state, where microdosing doesn't really do a lot for me. But if I take like a full dose, again, I'm not condoning any of this. It's 100% illegal. I'm not some crazy drug person. Just putting that out there. I have never ever sipped alcohol in my life. Never, even at my wedding, I had water. Like I said, I'm 45. I went through college without drinking. Never smoked. Never did a drug in my life. Started using cannabis at 39 to deal with the symptoms I was having, because I was having all these like weird nerve issues where my arms are going numb. It's not carpal, both arms, where I feel like people are pouring water on my arms, like this weird, crazy stuff, or it just burned super bad. And it was like literally maddening, because it was like nonstop. But first time I tried mushrooms, it's like, I noticed, I'm like, oh my God, my body feels, I told Kara, like, I'm like, feel my hands, because my hands are always like super cold, my feet. I'm like, she's like, wow, they're not freezing. I'm like, I know. Like, it felt like the only way I could describe it is I wasn't like high on mushrooms anymore, but it felt like my body was working properly. It was weird. I didn't feel like any inflammation. I'm like, is this what it feels like not to have like insane inflammation? And that lasted like weeks, like literally weeks. Issue is, I don't know anybody somebody was super kind that follows me. I'm not going to say their name. Ended up sending me some mushrooms. That's why I tried them. So I'm like, I became a huge believer, but obviously, they're illegal. I don't know any drug dealers, so I've been needing them, but have not been able to have them. Essentially, I would have loved to join the study at Johns Hopkins, but I think that was the place in Massachusetts. But it was like an 8-week study. You had to be there like 3 times a week, 8 hours a day, and it was a 4-hour drive each way. So obviously, I couldn't participate. You have to be local, essentially. But yeah, that's the natural stuff has been like the biggest thing in relief from symptoms, like beyond anything, by far, which is crazy to me. And it's crazy to me now thinking about like, wait, and like I said, like I saying I've never done like any. I was like straight edge up until 39 when I started using cannabis, and it's like I'm like, wait, why was this illegal? It's like nothing essentially. Don't feel addicted to it or anything like that. So just sharing with you guys. Yes, Mama Guild, yay hair. I was like literally like so pumped when I saw that picture side by side yesterday. I'm glad you enjoy the lives of me ranting on, even if I'm not talking about dogs. Why has the breed become so skittish? It's probably always been skittish. I don't think it's became skittish. It's probably always been skittish. And it's not so much skittish. It's usually that skittishness in like that puppy adolescent stage. Just the way their brains are. You know, every breed's different. Do I feed my dog chicken? Yes. I used to never feed Bruce chicken because he gets itchy. If you have a dog that has itchy, start with looking at their, in like dry skin, look at their diet and see if the first ingredient's chicken, if you guys feed kibble. If so, try switching it to a different ingredient without chicken. For some reason, I don't know why, a lot of dogs do not do good in chicken. Even organic chicken, like I would give Bruce organic chicken, he would still get itchy. Same for eggs. Eggs are chickens, they just haven't popped out of the whatever yet, the egg yet. They're not chickadees yet, but they're still chickens. Bruce does not do well on chicken. He gets itchy, he gets dry, so I would never give him chicken. Justice, it's like one of the only foods he likes is chicken, and like he does fine on it. The issue is Bruce loves chicken, like loves the taste of chicken, but he doesn't do good on it. So he sees Justice eating a giant plate of chicken, like I showed you in that video, and he doesn't have all this chicken. So now I give him chicken, but what I'll do is I'll just cut off a lot of the meat and just give him like the chicken quarter, the bone, with a little meat on it. I'll give him a couple of those each meal. That way he's still getting chicken, but he's not getting copious amounts of chicken like Justice is. To in turn stop same-sex aggression, because this dude's getting chicken now it's going to cause a conflict because Justice is getting it, Bruce isn't, right? So that's another thing I did. I do give Bruce chicken in small amounts. Justice gets copious amounts because he does fine. Yeah, the drinking age is lower in Canada. What is it, Ray? 18? I think it was when I was young, 18. Because all my friends would want to go over there and drink, but like I said, I didn't drink. Still don't. Oh, that's awesome that he makes homemade kefir. It's funny because I was giving Bruce and Justice goat milk kefir, for like over a year, and I never tried it. And my wife's a dietitian, so I had a gum infection a few weeks ago. I was on antibiotics. I was so sick. I didn't want to go on antibiotics because they just destroy your gut. But like when you have a tooth or gum infection, you don't want to F with that. That'll get in your blood. That can kill you. It's in so much pain. I was so sick. Still putting out content. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to double the probiotic I take. I take seed probiotic, if anybody cares. And doubled that. She's like, start having a yogurt or kefir. I'm like, okay. And like, I don't like the taste of it. I put stevia in it. I put stevia drops in it. I put a little bit of protein powder in it to make it taste better. Love it now. I absolutely love it now. And like I said, I was giving it to Bruce and Justice for like over a year. So I stole their kefir. So now I drink goat milk kefir, and I drink regular or organic kefir too from cows. But now I've been having like 3 servings a day of it, Love it. I put blueberries in it. Good stuff. Good stuff. I don't have the time to make it. I don't have the patience. Mama Guild, same thing for me. Mama Guild says, cannabis is the only thing that helps my shoulder. NSAIDs, etc. never helped. So I hurt my back, as I mentioned. Let me see, it was 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, I was going to Kara. Let me stand up. I got shorts on because I was doing cardio downstairs and I can barely stand. It hurts to stand. From here on, sometimes it feels like my body's just going to separate and give out. So I go to Kara, I'm like, feels like my body's separated from each other. I'm going to hurt my back, I bet. Then like on Sunday, my back went out, like my lower back. I never take NSAIDs because they're so bad for you, for your liver, unless I'm in a lot of pain. Took two Aleve, didn't do anything. Took 2 more Aleve, didn't do anything. Took 4 ibuprofen that night, didn't do anything. Next morning, woke up. I was up at 3:30. I didn't sleep all night. I'm like, oh, I'm going to try taking 4 Aleve. Took 4 Aleve. Didn't do anything. Took 2 more ibuprofen, didn't do anything. I vape. I've never even actually smoked cannabis. Like never technically smoked cannabis. I have a vaporizer here, which I was using right before this live for my back. That's the one thing that my back feels okay. Like obviously it still hurts. It doesn't fix it, but it's like every movement does not put me in excruciating pain. Is cannabis. NSAIDs did nothing. But yeah, like I said, never even smoked. This is like a dry herbal vaporizer for anybody that cares. You know, you just pop it off and you put it in there. That and just edibles. Like I said, never. I respect my body very much. Always have. Respected, but also destroyed it because I skateboarded for 20 years. A lot of falls, a couple surgeries, copious amounts of hospital visits, ER visits. But I've always also taken care of myself. I've always stayed fit. I lift 5 days a week. I love lifting. You guys see me at the gym with my dogs. I hate cardio. I do cardio 2+ days a week. I'm super fit. Like if I go to I have a Fitbit, it tracks your cardio fitness level, age. I'm not even my age group. I'm an excellent. Remember, I'm 44. If I take that same number and plug it into the 18-year-olds, I'm excellent. So I've always really respected my body. And it was a really hard choice to use cannabis because of that. Because I didn't want to have any negative health effects on myself, which is why I use a dry herbal vaporizer. Just to prolong my health as long as possible. It's all about, we can't help aging. We're all going to age. We're all going to get old. But we want that process to be easy. We want to feel good as long as we can. Somebody said to me, does it bother you being 44? I'm like, no, because like I'm the dude. Like I'm not trying to sound like arrogant. Like I got a 6-pack. I'm the 44-year-old guy. The 18-year-old seen the gym be like, man, I hope when I'm your age I look like that. Like that's, I'm not like big by any means, but I'm super fit. So I've always stayed fit. I've always tried to really take care of myself. I take my health like super, super serious. Always have. Love health and fitness. That's why my wife has a fitness channel. It was actually my idea to start that. She's actually the very first female fitness influencer on YouTube. Straight old OG right there. But yeah, I've always taken a lot of care of myself as much as I possibly could. Another rant. Let me see what else we got here. Mama Gildy, I'm going to have to switch them off chicken, I think, unfortunately. We're switching to raw after the board and train. Only did kibble this time because of that. Yeah, it's definitely it's super easy for us now. Not it's financially, it's a bitch for sure. It's very expensive. 300 pounds of dog, you go through like 10 pounds of meat a day. That's a lot. You know, that's a lot of food. That's what sucks because chicken is like the cheapest thing you can feed, right? Chicken's like, the funny thing is, Justice loves chicken, but he won't eat organic chicken. The only thing, if I throw the chicken carcass, the organic chicken carcass, he'll eat the entire carcass. But like, for example, I eat organic chicken. I cut off all the fat and the scraps. I give to him. He won't touch it. Bruce will. He won't touch it. Justice loves like the BJ crap. That's like the farm raised crappy chicken that's not good for you. That's what he loves. So it's cheap, whatever. Way better than kibble still. But yeah, isn't that funny how every dog's different? They all got their quirks and their personalities. How often do you and your wife need to let the dogs know you're the alphas? You never let your dog know they're the alphas. The alpha doesn't come in the room and say, hey, I'm the alpha. That doesn't happen like that. They know we're the alphas. And if you have to walk into the room and try to be the alpha, you're not the alpha in that room, dude. And it's the same for dogs. It's the same for dogs. Dogs know. You don't have to let them know. Yeah. Do your I always butcher people's names. I got 8% of my battery left, so I'm gonna have to finish this up quick. Malika. Sorry, I'm sure I'm butchering that. Do your conic horses want to hold your hand when petting them? Is it a sign of affection? Yes and yes. They want to help their hand held all the time. If I'm sitting on the couch, Bruce will start doing this to me until I just hold his paw. He just wants his paw held. Justice isn't quite as much as Bruce. He does, but it's a sign of affection. Erica, totally relate to how natural remedies work better. Cannabis and mushrooms have helped me as well. I have MS, 20 years. Wow, very, very sorry to hear on that. That's rough. I have a conic, but I'm sure by now, I'm not pitying you. I'm basically praising you for your strength. I hate it when people pity me. So if I said that in pity, I did not mean it in pity. You're strong. I have a conic corso too. She loves me, but won't play with me. I can't walk well. That's all right if she doesn't play with you. She probably knows your limitations. You know, they're very intuitive breed. And yeah, it's crazy how natural remedies. And then you gotta love, don't make me go off on my rant on Big Pharma. I learned a lot having Lyme disease and insurance companies, and you know, you think that all these doctors want the best for you, and a lot of them just aren't educated enough, which goes on them because they're so busy. And then you have the insurance companies working with Big Pharma and all this other stuff, and it's not even a conspiracy, it's just like a lot of just sketchiness, and it all comes down to the mighty dollar. So then you have natural stuff that works being illegal. Yeah, I hate cardio, it's no fun, I get bored, but I kill it in cardio. I use hating it as my driving force. I'm a very disciplined person, so I did a 20-minute spin class with a hurt back today, and it was not fun. I had leg day yesterday. I still lifted. I still squatted. It hurt. I just did it smart, and like instead of squatting like 245, I was squatting 135. You know, just so I didn't hurt my back. But I don't use that to puss out. I work around things because movement is key to healing. Movement is key to longevity, and the same for our dogs. Movement is key for their longevity, which is why Justice is such a blessing, because just even simple movement. I'm not even saying to take your dog out for a walk. Bruce plays so much more now because Justice is always there to play. Movement's key. I do use CBD oil. Oh, CBD oil. It doesn't do shit for me. Works on the dogs, doesn't work on me. Does not do nothing for me. Chris C. Hi, Jason. My male course of 15 months is great and well behaved and polite to other people and animals, but his recall is not great when he gets focused on something. It's like he becomes deaf. Need more training with him. Um, don't ruin his recall by recalling him if he's not coming. I have recall videos on my channel. Check those out. They'll help you. Quick tips. When they recall, everything is like super happy. Like your praise needs to be like level 100 praise. I can't do it because the dogs will come running in here. Like level 100 praise, super excited, high reward treats, like super high reward, like rotisserie chicken pieces when they come to you. You want everything. This also goes into recall. When you're not recalling your dog, right? Everything in your circle, everything in this circle, you want to be amazing. That way your dog wants to come to you. Because if things aren't amazing in this situation, why is your dog going to want to come to you when they have a ball that they're playing with over there that's more fun than what's in this situation right here? Another quick tip, recall your dog when you're playing with them, end it, walk in the house, and then go right back outside. Do it again, recall, end the play, like play for 5 minutes, go back inside with a recall, then go back out and play. That way they're not like associating recall with, oh shit, the fun ends. Just a tip. But yeah, you need to work with distractions more. He's 15 months. He's very adolescent still. Very, very, very adolescent still. Yes, he is a McDonald's kid still, Mr. Dodo. Yeah, I forgot about him. Thanks, Ray. Ray's my hype boy. My ebook I made super affordable. It's like $29, and it's all philosophy based. And I did that on purpose because I can tell you how I get my dogs to sit, for example. Doesn't mean your dogs are going to sit because every situation is different. So it's easiest if you understand the psychology behind things. So it's all philosophy based, how I did my ebook. And it has helped a lot of people. I get a lot of people DMing me saying, thank you so much. Just 2 hours later, just implementing some of X, Y, and Z, and my dog's already acting different, you know. You can find that link in the description box. Lisa, dry dog food is, I'm not putting down anyone that feeds dry dog food, but dry dog food, you might as well just be feeding your dog trash. It's kibble is like cereal. Would you eat cereal every meal of your life? No, because it's processed garbage. Even high-end people, like I feed my dog high-end kibble, it's still garbage. It's garbage. It's like, for me personally, I try to eat mostly whole foods. I try to eat very minimal processed. Like I eat processed foods, but it's a bare minimum, very bare minimum. I eat processed foods. Like 95% of my diet is whole foods. I feel the same. Should be the same for a dog's whole food, species appropriate diet. There's a lot of fillers in kibble. There's a lot of things dogs are allergic to in kibble. So yes, it's very allergic. It's not so much they're allergic to kibble, it's they're allergic to the things that are put into the kibble. It's so switch to a different one if they're having issues with completely different ingredient profiles, to see if that helps. If they're still having issues, switch to another kibble, switch to not even another kibble, but like another brand as well. And a lot of these kibbles are all manufactured in the same plant. That's why when there's a kibble recall, usually it's not just one company, it's like 10 companies. Again, it's like, so try to find a different brand kibble manufactured in a different plant. That would be my suggestion. And also make sure that kibble has a completely different ingredient profile. So chicken, try salmon, try turkey, try duck. That would be my suggestion. If you ask your vet, about raw, they're going to tell you no. But also, a vet's not a pet nutritionist. I'm not a pet nutritionist, but I fed Bruce Wayne a raw diet for 6 years. I fed Joey Justice a raw diet. He's been on raw since even before we had him. You see my dogs, they're not shiny like that because of the food or because of their shampoo. They're shiny like that because of their diet. With that said, I'm on 1% battery. I'm ending this here so I can say goodbye to you guys. Thank you for all the love and support. Everything I'm associated with, all my merch, my ebook, linked in the description box below. All those Fenrir dog training online courses, they will change, they will make your life so much easier. Yes, they're expensive, but you save 10% using code JASON. Helps support me and my family. All this info that I share on the channel for free with you guys, it helps you guys give back by just supporting the brands I work with and all that stuff. Thank you for everything. And I'll see you guys on Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a video going up on training justice around distractions, such as a cat, like right next to a cat. So you want to look at some distraction work, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you have that bell turned on so you don't miss that video, and we'll see y'all later.